Eddie Law here for CrossbonesMMA.com and Crossbones MMA Radio, speaking with one of the newest additions to the Invicta Fighting Championships bantamweight roster, Maegan Mayhem Goodwin, who makes a pro debut at Invicta FC 9 against Kelly McGill in Davenport, Iowa on November 1st. First of all, Maegan, how are you today?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good, thanks. Now, you're going to make your pro debut in November. We'll get to that in a second. For fans that might know that much about you, where are you from originally?
I'm actually from Sallisaw, Oklahoma. That's where I went to high school and grew up and everything. Right now I'm living in Tahlequah, Oklahoma. That's where I went to college, and so that's where I live right now.
What school did you go to?
College-wise, I went to Northeastern State up here.
Oh, okay. I was going to ask you the one critical question that I always hear people from Oklahoma get asked is if you're a Sooner or a Cowboy.
Oh, actually a lot of my family went to OSU, and my brother's actually going to go to OSU, so I like the Cowboys.
There you go. You a big football fan or no?
Not so much. I used to be, but now I'm kind of too busy for it, so I kind of lost interest for it.
Oh, so not football. So what other sports besides martial arts were you involved in growing up?
I played pretty much everything, like, growing up. I have two brothers, so I was always out playing football or baseball or something. And then in high school, I played pretty much everything. I even tried cheerleading for a year. That was fun. But I just like sports and competing in general. So, I mean, pretty much everything.
Nice. You ever get that thing about you used to be a cheerleader, now you're a fighter? Like, what happened?
Not really, because everyone knew I hated cheerleading, and it was just kind of like I never really took it serious. I just did it because my friends talked me into it, and I never even knew our cheers or anything for football games. Oh. So I was just kind of there.
I hear you. All right, so when did martial arts become a part of your life?
When I was 19, I started doing it as a workout because I thought it was interesting, and I wanted to get in better shape and everything. And so I started, and then I just decided after a few months of doing it like that I wanted to take it seriously, and then got talked into a fight. So and then it went from there.
You got talked into a fight kind of easy, right?
Not at first. My old coach would always ask me, and I would always be like, no, I'm never going to do that. And finally I was like, yeah, I might try.
Oh,
and then I liked it. So
yeah, what was your first thought when you first got punched in the face?
In practice or in a fight?
In practice, because obviously the practice one's the first one you're gonna get.
Yeah. In practice, I don't know that I liked it a whole lot because I had never really been punched in the face like that before. And it was harder for me to punch people in the face. I don't know why. But I had a big issue when I first started because I'm just not an aggressive person like that in a mean way, and it was hard for me to punch people in the face. I would always get in trouble because I would try to punch people's chest. But I mean, I got over that pretty quick. Now I'm okay with it.
Yeah, no, I think I've seen a couple of your fights on YouTube. You definitely you want to turn the switch on then. Do you find that like hard to do when you if you fight somebody that you don't know? I mean, okay, is it harder to spar with people with teammates that you do know and punch them in the face, or is it harder to fight people that you don't know?
Oh, I definitely have, like, as far as practicing wise, I mean, no matter what, in a fight you're going to punch somebody in the face and you're not going to care. No matter who it is, I feel like. But in practice or something, I don't really think it matters too much to me who it is. I mean, they're there to better me and better themselves, so they probably want to get punched in the face. So yeah. I will gladly punch them in the face.
Kind of like an iron sharpens iron type of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So what was the reaction from your friends and your family when you told them that you wanted to fight?
Everyone was pretty shocked because I think it took a while for people to take me seriously doing it, just because I was always the girl in basketball who was never aggressive and would never really get in there and be aggressive and like stuff like that. And then it was just like as I got into college, I developed more athleticism as I got into college, I think, and just became more competitive. And it was just not having something to compete in. And then it was like I found fighting, and they were like, "What?" Like, and my dad still doesn't like it. My parents never watched a fight until 2 fights ago. They didn't come to my first 4 fights, but now they're warming up to it, and I mean, all my friends think it's awesome now, and all my family always asks me about it and everything. So now it's pretty cool, but at first it was different.
Yeah, it just took them a while to warm up to the idea of you getting locked into a cage with another trained fighter and duking it out.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So who is your biggest influence when it comes to MMA?
I don't know. I always say Cyborg and Ronda Rousey, just because coming into it, they're the first 2 fighters that I really paid attention to, and the first 2 that stood out to me. And I just like their work ethic and how much passion they have for the sport. And I follow them, and I think they're great leaders and pioneers for the sport. So those 2 are probably more than anyone.
So if they ever actually get to fight, who do you think takes it?
Oh, I hate this question. I don't know, because, I mean, at 145, I would say Cyborg for sure. But when she drops down, I don't know how she's going to handle it. I mean, she's supposed to be doing it in December, so we'll see then. But if she does well at that, I think she has a pretty good chance. But I don't know. I really like Ronda, so I don't know. I hope that fight happens, but I don't know if it ever will.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think all fans would be just hoping at one point that it actually goes down. So, yeah. So, people are still getting used to the idea of women fighting in a cage, even though it's been happening for at least, for quite a while now, especially in the amateur ranks. But they're still getting used to seeing 2 women get in a cage and fight each other. So, especially since we've seen Ronda tear girls' arms apart and, Cyborg blooding up girls and, when she beat up on Carano and all that. So what do you say to people who don't want to see women fight in MMA?
I would just ask them why, because a lot of people have, like, stupid reasons. And a lot of people who say that it's stupid or, like, say that we shouldn't be fighting or guys who haven't watched women's fighting. So I feel like it's a lot of, like, really old school, like, UFC watchers who aren't up to date on like martial arts and who haven't watched these women perform, and and because everyone else who likes it more. I mean, I hate to say this, but everyone says that they like it more than men's MMA. Like, I mean, everyone that I talk to, they're like, it's way more exciting. You guys just go at it harder, but I mean, MMA is MMA, and it's it's hard no matter what. But I don't know. People, they frustrate me because most people won't give you a very straight or good reason why they don't want women. And yeah.
No. Anytime I end up in a discussion with somebody about it, tell me they don't like it, I always ask them for a straight answer. They can never give me one. So I always tell them, like,
exactly.
maybe, it's like I always tell them, like, maybe you just haven't watched enough of it to understand it. But, like, definitely this last weekend, the UFC had these 2 cards, one in Stockholm, one in Halifax, and I don't think either card had any women fighting in it. And it was just like, it's just missing a little extra something to me. How important do you think is having, like, a women's bout in each card?
I mean, I think it's important because, like you said, like, I think it just adds a little something to every card, like when there's at least one girl fight. Because I know if there's not at least one girl fight, I'm not as excited to watch it. I mean, obviously I like it a little better because I want to see my future competition and, like, just, girls in general. But I don't know. I mean, I think it's important. I think a lot of people, especially right now, want to see that. And people are starting to really get into it. So I think it's way more exciting when you add a girl fight.
Yeah, I mean, I personally I think Ronda Rousey might be the biggest draw in all of MMA. I mean, whether
Oh
you
yeah,
love her or hate her, you have to watch her, and that's something that she really
yeah.
aims for, especially with her personality the way she is. She doesn't care if you like her or not, but she just she knows you're gonna watch her because you feel a certain way about her. What do you think about her, and like how people feel about her as far as her personality goes?
Um, I don't know. I mean, I like her. I don't. As far as like people saying she's rude, I mean, I think that I don't think I don't know. I think that's just her personality. Like, I don't think she's like trying to like just be rude, because everyone that meets her is like, she's awesome, she's so nice, she's so down to earth. I just think that she has so many people that hate her that she doesn't try to sugarcoat everything and be like, oh well, I love everyone anyways. Like, she just tells it how it is, and people don't like that. Like, if you like come out and say, oh, I hate this person, and they like say anything back, you can't expect them to be like a ray of sunshine. And people just, I feel like people don't understand her. And a lot of the people that say that they hate her, or oh, I can't stand her, are a lot of the people that really don't watch a lot of stuff on her, and who just see like social media stuff, or like the Ultimate Fighter. That's all they've seen of her. But of course she's going to look awful on the Ultimate Fighter, because you don't know their background if that's all you've seen. You don't know them as people outside of that if that's all you've seen. And all they throw on there is drama anyways. So, I don't know. I think she's been portrayed in different ways, and that's all that certain people have seen. And so that's how they run with it.
Yeah, now be real. When she got up after beating Misha Tate this last time, she did not shake her hand. What'd you think?
That's just her. I mean, that's her not being fake, because she told her if she apologized to her coach, which I mean, I don't know, because she said that her coaches are like her family, and they disrespected him so much that it's like, I beat you. That doesn't change the fact that I don't respect you, but I don't know. I think that's just Rhonda. I probably would have shook her hand, but that's just Rhonda.
Yeah. So,
and I mean, she told her if she apologized to them, then she would shake her hand, but I don't know.
Yeah. Have you ever gotten any hate from people, from anybody, whether it be strangers, friends, or family, for being a MMA fighter?
Just for being an MMA fighter?
Yeah, just for being like a person that encourages it.
No, I don't think so. I mean, I've had like just random stuff over the past years, and just drama in general with MMA, but that comes along. But not really. I mean, I haven't had anyone just bash me, thankfully. Not that I know of.
Yeah, nothing that came up big and got your attention or anything.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Oh yeah. How do you feel about Fallon Fox being in women's MMA?
I don't know. I don't like it. I don't think I would ever take a fight against her. But I think that if you do take a fight against her, you can't really come back afterwards and say that it was unfair, or have anything at all to say, because you took the fight and you agreed to it. So, you know what I mean? So, I mean, you know what you're going in against before. But I just personally would never take a fight with her. But I don't think it's right. I don't know all the science behind it and everything. But to me, as much damage as she did to Brent's that last fight in like a minute or whatever, I mean, that's normally a woman wouldn't do all that, I feel like. So I feel like she's got a little something extra. But I don't know. I don't really like it that much.
Yeah, I know Fallon Fox has been on social media and everywhere she can, interviews, kind of trying to get a spot in the UFC or in Invicta, trying to get a fight in a bigger promotion. Do you think Invicta would ever welcome her in?
I don't think so, but I don't know. I would think that if they were going to, they would have already. But I feel like she's got so much, even for the simple fact that I think she has too much heat behind her as far as like conflict with that issue, that it's not exactly smart for the organization. But then again, if they want more more talk behind them, they might. So I don't know. I don't think that they would, but I think, hasn't Dana been interviewed about it, and he said that he never would? And
yeah, I think he said something like that, but I don't know. Just because Fox is out there, like, you know, on Twitter every day, just challenging anybody that would, you know, that she wants to fight in those two organizations. So that's why I asked. Yeah. So is women's MMA something that you would encourage all women to try?
No, I would not, because I mean, as far as like just doing classes, like to learn jiu-jitsu, to learn a little bit of sparring, or I mean anything like that, just to learn it and have fun with it. Yeah, because it's really fun. It's a good stress relief. It's a great way to get in shape. But as far as like the competing side and the hardcore practices, definitely not. It's definitely not for everybody. You have to be a certain type of athlete and a certain type of, you have to have a certain type of mentality to do MMA, because I was joking with a teammate yesterday, and I was like, if you don't question your whole life at least once a month, you're not a hardcore fighter. Like, it's hardcore. I mean, if you're training so hard every day, and you know, you give up a lot for this sport, but it's so worth it. I don't mean for it to sound bad. Obviously, we love it or we wouldn't do it. But it's just, it's for the very competitive people, I feel like. But as far as like just doing it to learn and to have fun, yeah, it's so much fun. And it's great for stress relief. I think that everyone should try that side of it.
Definitely. So what is the biggest misconception that people have about you?
Misconception about me? I don't know.
Like, do they ever see you, like, you know, you go into a cage, you know, the blonde girl, and then, you know, then you start throwing down like crazy? Like, do they say anything?
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
I think a lot of, like, as far as, like, my opponents that I fought, a lot of people, like, if they haven't seen tape on me or anything, because I don't really have a whole lot of tape out. Like, my fights, a lot of them weren't recorded, for whatever reason, but they just kind of see me as, like a little blonde, like, pretty girl, and I don't look tough and I don't look mean. And then it's like, when I get into the cage, they're like, oh, wait, who is that? Like, that's that girl? Because I don't know why, but I was just, like, go into this zone before I fight, and I just, like, have this intense stare down, and I don't know, it happens every fight. I can't control it, but yeah, I'm, like, totally different from weigh-ins to fight, because I'm really laid back. I like to have fun, but then when I'm walking out, it's like business time, and you know, time to make my work pay off. But I think that just as far as like people, if they just look at me, I look athletic, but I don't really look like an aggressive, mean person. So they're like, how much could she do? But
then at the end of the fight, they're just like, oh no, we were so wrong.
Yeah, like I remember my first opponent. I'll never ever forget. She talked so much crap to me. She thought she was gonna walk straight through me, and she had no idea what she did, and she just like lit a fire that has never been lit underneath me. And I like came out and like had my hair braided and was like staring her down, and she was like scared to death across the cage from me, and I will never forget that. But things like that made me think of that. But
definitely. So all right, so out of now, as far as what's on record, from all your fights, all your finishes are by submission. Is that something that you work on your jiu-jitsu game? Is that your biggest part of your arsenal when you go into a fight?
Not at all. I have jiu-jitsu, and I'm comfortable on the ground, but I like stand up a lot better. I always feel more comfortable standing up, and I actually train more on like the kickboxing side. I have been at least a lot. I mean, I train ground too, but it's just like I always train the little things a lot in my fight camps, and it's like those little things always like end up being how I win, which makes sense, but I just never think that's how I'm going to win, and it's like I usually do. So, you know, it's kind of weird.
Yeah. Now, as far as your amateur career, it looks like you had 5 amateur bouts, all wins, and you had a championship, right?
Yeah, I did for show fight.
Yeah. And when did you? How did you decide, or when did you decide that now is the time to go pro?
Well, I mean, I've been pushing for Invicta for a while. I wanted to get like as many amateur fights as not really as many as I could, but just to where I felt like overly confident going into the pro circuit. But I knew I was ready, and then me and my manager decided to start pushing for Invicta, seeing how my fans reacted to it, and then we got a call from Julie Kedzie, and it was like, all right, well, it's time. So, I mean, that's pretty much what decided it. I didn't decide. I mean, we kind of decided it's time to go pro, but we were going to see, you know, how everything went first. And so that's pretty much what made my decision for me.
Yeah. Okay, so I read somewhere this is going to be your first time on an airplane. Is that true?
Yes, it's true. I'm like a little bit nervous, but I'm really excited. I've always wanted to fly on an airplane, but I've never gone anywhere like, well, I have, but everywhere far I've gone, it's been like with my church or something. So we all went together and obviously drove, so I've never really been like on a far vacation or anything. And so I've never flown. And so I'm excited, but I don't know why, but I'm like really paranoid that they're going to lose my bags and my flight stuff. But I hope that doesn't happen.
Oh, the usual nightmares of air travel.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. So you fought most of your fights at featherweight, and now you're dropping to bantamweight. How hard is that weight cut going to be for you?
I'm not sure yet. It's going good so far. I'm just trying to slowly drop. But I fought like 3 fights at 140, and then 3 at heavier. But because my kickboxing, I don't remember. I think my kickboxing bout was at like 145. I don't remember. It might have been 140. But so I mean, I've been there before. It's just my last few have been at 145 or 150. But I think I'll be all right. I've got a bunch of people helping me, and I'm working my butt off, and I'm gonna, you know, take the right steps in this time and do it a very healthy way. So I think I'm gonna be all right.
Yeah. So you're taking on Kelly McGill in your fight in Invicta. What do you know about her that you're gonna need the game plan for?
I know that she has won her fights by like TKO knockout, but I think she says she likes ground better, but I don't know where she's going to try to go with it. In her film that I've watched, I've definitely picked up a lot of things that she does that I'm going to try to capitalize on, and a lot of things that she tries for that I'm going to, avoid. So, I mean, she does a lot of the same stuff. So I've definitely been working on that kind of stuff. She's definitely a good opponent. I am really excited about the matchup. I've been wanting a good challenge, and I think that she's a good fighter. And so, win or lose, I'm going to have fought a really good fighter. So it's not like if I win, I'm just going to have an easy win, or if I lose, it's like, oh, you lost to her. So, I mean, but I'm going to win. But I'm excited to fight her. I'm just excited to fight for Invicta. So I'm just looking forward to it.
All right, so let's do a quick 5 questions. So I'll ask a question, and you just give the first thing that comes to your mind, okay?
Oh God. Okay.
All right, and they're not that bad, believe me. All right.
Okay.
Number one, your ultimate goal in MMA is.
UFC.
All right. If you weren't a professional fighter, what would you be?
A figure competitor.
All right. And what is your favorite object that you just cannot live without on the entire world?
Object? Can I say food?
Yeah. Definitely. All right. So all right. Number four, your favorite fighter in all of MMA is.
Ronda Rousey.
All right, and the last one, true or false? Maegan Goodwin steals a show at Invicta FC 9.
True.
All right, that's what I like to hear. All right, so so do you have any shout outs you want to put out there, or people you want to thank?
Yeah, I have a bunch of sponsors for this fight. A bunch of people have been helping me out. I have Floating Mat, Pro Event sponsors, Soapalicious, Sports Food, Brian Dubick, 580 Brand, Iron Jaw, Mouth Guards, Tealfin Consulting, Red Gear, Barnum Athletics, Bite Chicks, Sweet Pea Cake Pops, Ion Bands, Syntha Bags, A-Loop, Drying Gloves, and Fresh Start Entertainment, and my manager, Jay.
All right. How do people get a hold of you on social media?
My Facebook is just my fan page is Maegan Mayhem Goodwin. Twitter, it's at Miss Mayhem 32. And I also have an Instagram. It's just Megan Elaine, so if you can find that.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it. Good luck in training camp, and good luck on November 1st. I'm really looking forward to your fight.
Oh, thank you very much.